18,000 known and suspected terrorists that the Biden administration let come into our country. These are individuals who, under normal circumstances, would never be allowed to enter our country because of their ties to jihadi groups like ISIS and Al-Qaeda. Yet the Biden administration not only let them into the country, and in many cases facilitated their entry into the country.
And with that being said, the Trump administration is now saying, prepare yourself for a terrorist attack with these 18,000 terrorists that were allowed in here. Again, they blame it all on Biden and the Biden regime. Why aren't they arrested? Why aren't they in jail? It just point the finger at the guy that was in here before and just blame it all on him with no repercussions. It's what it is every single day. They're ramping up these attacks. When they start to telegraph and warn you ahead of time that stuff's going to go down, you should prepare that something's going to go down. It's part of the rules to the game. They're definitely not going to come out and say, oh, get ready for something, and nothing happen. Okay? Something big is about to go down. You can tell. You can feel it in the air. All these events that are popping off at different places, they're trying to connect some of these shootings, like what happened at Brown, what happened in Bondi in Australia, to terrorism connected to these Muslim groups. There's already staged aspects to those. I'm going to break them down on the live stream because they're going for the guns in Australia immediately, like right after all this stuff. It's pretty obvious. Problem, reaction, solution, and the government always taking the same route. So Tulsi Gabbard also going on Fox News saying the same thing, saying that we've got a tremendous amount of people here illegally and that they have all the information that something is about to happen. It seemed the stage is set for them to do something, and it would slow the United States down, and it would allow any other country like China or whoever else to advance on the world stage if we were slowed down whatsoever. We always warn about an EMP, lights out type of event, all these on the table still as they're warning of a major terrorist attack. Could be a series of events. I just want to make sure people are vigilant, got their head on a swivel, are paying attention to their surroundings, especially if you're out there in a holiday type of event, like a parade or anything like that out there, something that could be top of the list to be targeted.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahah, double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessing to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakathum. And this is just going to be a quick reaction to what you just saw there. And I just want to stress the importance of getting your mind, okay, in the right space to deal with what we have coming, okay? Because as the scriptures say, the time of Jacob's trouble is not going to be like anyone could ever believe, all right? I believe in Jeremiah 30, okay? And I believe it may be Habakkuk, where it says, I will work a work. Yep, Habakkuk 1. All right. And this is the mindset that you have to be in as Habakkuk was, man. Go on to verse 1, chapter 1, verse 1, the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see. O Lord Yahweh, how long shall I cry, and thou wilt not hear, even cry out unto thee of violence, and thou wilt not save. Okay. And there's no shortage of violence here, man. So if you're not crying out to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, if you're content, okay, ordering DoorDash, all right, working a 9 to 5, getting a real estate portfolio, and all of this wickedness is going on, then you're gonna be left here, man. Guess what? The Most High is gonna Salakia, man. My phone going off. The Most High is gonna put a spirit on the spirit of sleep on the men that He doesn't want. And the men that are supposed to get it, they're going to wake up, okay? And then some men are going to wake up, but they're still not going to have it in them to repent, okay? So count yourself blessed the fact that you know, okay? If you're of this truth and you're comforted by the words and you believe this thing through faith, hey, take comfort in that, man, because hey, you have a much better chance of surviving what's to come. Because it is coming. All right. Verse 3, it says, "Why doest thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me." So you supposed to be uncomfortable here, man. Okay, all you guys that are settled on your lees, that are at rest, all right. The Lord is simply not dealing with you, man. Okay. Any nigga that can sleep through a house fire deserves to get burned up. Okay. It says, and there are that raise up strife and contention. All right, and that's what this guy is doing. He's constantly looking for a boogeyman because he's the real villain. Okay, so he constantly needs new people to target, new people to aim at. All right, that's why he's always got a bad guy. Okay, the newest term today is narco errorism. Okay, down there in Venezuela, that's a workshop term, a think tank term that they thought up with to strike fear in the hearts of Americans. Like they always come up with particular terms, man. You know, because they always need an enemy. Okay, as that Edomite said, that general, he said, well, if only tool you got in your shed is a hammer, okay, then every problem's got to be a nail. Then everything's gonna be a nail. You know, every problem's got to be a nail. So that's his only remedy is the hammer, man. Force. Verse 4, it says, "Therefore the law is slack, and judgment doeth never go forth. For the wicked doeth compass about the righteous, therefore wrong judgment proceedeth." And this is what we are. We're encompassed about with wickedness, man. Even our own women are against us. She's a tool of the enemy. Okay? So you really have no reason to be comfortable here, okay? And I'm not saying you walk around your neck all tight, stressed out all the time, but you should be crying out daily, okay? You should be vexed with this place daily like Lot was in Sodom and Gomorrah. Okay, and it says, "Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you." Okay, and as you can see in the brother's video here, it says down here, "We told you so." Okay, and that's what prophets are meant to do. All right, when you go to the second chapter of Habakkuk, it speaks about him standing up on his watch. Okay. The Lord set Habakkuk up to be on the tower to prophesy against Babylon, man. Okay. So we're at the end of this thing, and if you can't see it, okay, have the spirit to pray for understanding. And if you don't have the spirit to pray for understanding, then the Lord's just not dealing with you, man. Okay, this is another one. I don't know if I can watch the whole thing, but you'll get the point here, okay? About what mindset that you need to be in.
Publication of again, this is called The Economist. Now I'm going to pull this up here so we can look at this together. You're going to see this on your screen, and I want you to see the visual of this. Now keep in mind, this is like the crystal ball, if you would, of the elites. This is what they perceive and what they see coming in the year ahead. And they do this every single year. Take a really close look at what you're looking at here. Notice here all of these symbols of war. You've got tanks, you've got rockets, you've got missiles. You can see the AI robots involved. If you look carefully, you'll even see syringes. What is that? Is that pertaining to vaccines? Is there a pandemic coming? You see all
not medical information at all.
Through this, you see these indications of, and look at the fist up here at the top with the handcuffs on it. You see all these indicators of civil unrest, distress of nations, wars, rumors of wars, pestilence, plagues, wars, kingdom against kingdom, nation against nation. Look, and if you look at the very center of this, you got the two swords crossing each other. So there's a lot of stuff here.
Yeah, the forecast, okay? And we just saw it here. In Habakkuk 1, it says, look, the title, it says Chaldeans used to punish Judah. Okay, when you look up who the Chaldeans were, they were basically a priesthood of the Babylonians, man, on the left-hand side, okay? And they were into, stargazing and prognosticating and all kind of left hand divinations, okay, and they would advise the king, okay. All right, they took a they took a liking to Daniel, who was able to do what? Interpret the vision, because on the right hand side Daniel was given understanding of what was to happen. Okay, and so these Chaldeans, okay, they predict, okay, but see, their wickedness is of themselves, so they go out and predict something, but really they planned in their mind to go out and do it, okay. And you can read the rest of Habakkuk to see what they be on, okay, which is just violence through the sword, okay. That's what these people are here for, man, okay. And so they're telling you what's getting ready to come down. So what mindset should you be in, man? This is Jeremiah 30, okay. I'm gonna start at verse 3. It says, "For lo, the days come, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord Yahweh." And that day, when it says bring again, it means he's gonna release us from our captivity. Okay. It says, "And I will cause them to return to the land that I have gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it." So that's the time that we're in now. Okay, you're not just gonna get it by in this lax spirit, man. Okay, handing out flyers every Saturday, and then you just go back and be a nigga 6 days out of the week. Okay, that is not gonna cut it. Okay, it says, "And these are the words of the Lord that the Lord Yahweh spake concerning Israel, concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace." All right, so you gotta put yourself in the mindset of these men, okay, and what's gonna happen. All right, so you're not walking around confused and pale faced, okay, because if you got that spirit on you, you're out of there. All right, it says, "Ask ye now, and see whether a man doeth travail with child. Wherefore do I see a man with his hands on his loins, and a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness." Okay? It says, "Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it." And you have to understand, our forefathers were rough men. They were warriors. Okay? And now you don't have to be in the army or in the military to be a warrior. A warrior is a mindset, okay? And when our forefathers saw what was getting ready to happen, they knew, okay? The Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushua was not playing, as it says in 2nd Ezra, the 14th chapter, okay? Verse 14 or 13, it says, "Now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people." And that's what we're doing. Okay, you know me, I really don't have a house. Okay, I'm not setting up a house. Okay, if the Lord sees fit for me to have a family and do all of these things, he'll make it happen. But my focus is on the kingdom. Okay, but if you have a house, okay, you have to have it in order, man. Okay, and if they're not in order, you got to be prepared to lose. Okay, to lose those things, because not even these bodies are going to leave America. Okay, not even these decrepit bodies are going to leave here. Okay, when we leave America, our complete bodies are going to be changed. Okay, pursuing 1 Corinthians the 15th chapter. Okay, but going back, verse 13, "Now therefore set thine house in order, and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and renounce corruption." And now renounce corruption. Okay, so that's an action to renounce corruption, man. You just going with the flow. You just, man, I hope man, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just chill. Okay, well, eventually Esau's not gonna give you the option to chill. Okay. This is what we preach about Revelation the 13th chapter all the time. All right. And so what you're going to have to realize is, going back to Habakkuk, is the man that you're dealing with is unreasonable. Okay. Going back to Habakkuk 2, verse 4, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. So you're gonna need faith, period, man. There is no sitting on the fence. There is no lukewarm. All right. It says, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied. So he doesn't care if you're just not trying to hurt nobody. You're a so-called good person. Okay? The Lord is not dealing with good people, and neither is Satan. Okay? And one of them is gonna win. So you might as well choose the Most High, man. Okay? It says, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So you got to get them thoughts out of your mind that you can just ride the fence or stay out of the way. No. You think Jeremiah wrote this for alas that day is great, so that none is like it, because it was just, a dark time? No, this is going to be unbelievable what's getting ready to happen. Okay? We read that in Habakkuk 1. It says you would not believe it though it be told to you. Okay, now going back to 2nd Ezra, I'm hopping around. It says verse 14, the main point. Let go from the mortal thoughts, cast away the burdens of man, put off now the weak nature, and his flesh is weak. Okay, it's super weak. The only thing you can really rely on is your spirit. Okay, and the Holy Spirit's got to be resting on you. Okay. It says, and set aside the thoughts that are most heavy unto thee, and haste thee to flee from these times. Okay? For yet greater evils than those which thou hast seen happen shall be done hereafter. All right? And there was a lot of wickedness that was witnessed in the time of Ezra, okay, during the Babylonian period. They completely destroyed our temple, man. All right? So we're in those times, man. And they're telegraphing what they're getting ready to do. So something in 2026 is about to go down. Okay? Major. All right? So I'm going to end it there. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Ba'Hashem Rachak W'dah Shalom. Kom Yasharallah.